The Beckhams are still a power couple after facing quite a few storms together, and they didn't shy away from commenting on their lows in their Netflix docuseries.
It was probably, if I'm being honest, the most unhappy I have ever been in my entire life.
From criticism of their relationship to cheating rumors and household conflicts.
I was on my own in the room and it was very depressing and it was very hard.
But are all those struggles buried in the past? Here are 5 challenges that nearly shattered the Beckhams' bond. Everyone against them. Right from the start, their relationship didn't have many supporters. Victoria's manager wanted to maintain her spicy image for the public. So, he straight up told her to keep her personal stuff on the down low. And David's football coach even hoped that their affair would die out quickly. Sir Alex Ferguson was worried that the relationship might mess with Beckham's game on the field. He wished David had settled with a chill girl instead of a superstar like Victoria. But by then, they were both totally smitten with each other. Their phone chats lasted for ages. And the footballer was even willing to drive 4 hours just to hang with Victoria for a quick 20 minutes. Well, against all odds, the couple became parents, got engaged in 1998 and married the following year. But their honeymoon, unfortunately, only lasted 5 days. Beckham's coach ordered him back to training with the words, "Enough rest, time to work." He still believed that his protege's fixation on family was harming his career. Victoria said that Ferguson acted like she was invisible and gave her the cold shoulder for years.
I was married to Posh Spice. My life had become something different.
But did David's performance decline on the field? Absolutely not. He consistently gave his all during matches, with love serving as his motivation. But honestly, these two might never have even crossed paths. 2 worlds collided. In the late 90s, when they first bumped into each other, Victoria was already one of the standout Spice Girls. Meanwhile, David was only beginning to make his mark in football. Naturally, he was aware of the iconic British group and even admired them.
We all had our favourite Spice Girl.
Was she always your favourite?
She was obviously my favourite.
Yeah.
But to him, she felt like a totally out-of-reach dream. Ironically, Posh Spice was unaware of David's existence. Victoria had zero interest in football. She was all about high society, and Beckham wasn't part of that world at all. Posh has always lived a fancy life. She went to the poshest schools and was always rolling up in swanky cars.
We're very working class.
Be honest.
I am being honest. I am being honest.
What car did your dad drive you to school in?
So my dad did.
No, one answer.
My dad.
What car was it?
It's not a simple answer
What
because.
car did you get your dad to drive?
It depends.
No.
Okay,
What
in the
car?
80s,
What?
my dad had a Rolls Royce.
Thank you.
And David, his dad, set up kitchens and his mom was a hairdresser. All David wanted was to help his parents make more money and show them they did a good job raising him. Well, deep down, of course, he was fantasizing about having a Spice Girl's wife. So it was by sheer chance that David and Victoria found themselves at the same post-match event in 1997. Initially, the blonde athlete didn't even catch the singer's eye. That is, until a certain intriguing detail grabbed her attention.
One of the most attractive things I found with David is that he shared the same sort of family values as me. You know, he was sitting there with his family and I really liked that.
There were instant sparks between these two from totally different worlds. No wonder the paparazzi haven't left them alone since day one. They shadowed Posh and Bex incessantly, and the non-stop snooping was really messing with their relationship. Risky fame. The Beckhams' every move was tracked, from cars to drones. Vicky and David couldn't even grab a bite to eat or take a stroll without being hounded. In the early 2000s, they were bigger deals than even the royals. But they didn't enjoy it. In one wild incident, David's fans thought it'd be funny to belt out a little song about his wife.
Posh Spice takes it up the arse. Excuse my language, not very ladylike, but 75,000 people singing that.
Victoria was deeply upset by this and directed her ire at both the fans and at David. She viewed it as a blatant show of disrespect.
It was an absolute circus. It's really entertaining when the circus comes to town, right? unless you're in it.
But when their first son, Brooklyn, came along, Victoria's stress levels shot up big time. The idea of her boy being in that kind of spotlight seriously frightened her, especially when the Beckhams started getting threats about their kid getting snatched.
We were getting kidnapping threats. Imagine having a baby and having death threats.
David got so freaked out that he started sleeping right by the door. He was so afraid that someone would try to take their child away. Just as tensions seemed to ease slightly, and the Beckhams welcomed their second son, they were faced with yet another daunting challenge. Distance and rumored infidelity. David's offer to play for Real Madrid threw Victoria for a loop. The idea of moving from England to Spain was a huge shake-up for her, but her husband made a definitive decision, and that's because
I love my family.
Por supuesto quiero a mi familia.
But football is everything to me.
But Victoria's reaction made it abundantly clear that she was not happy. She decided to live in 2 countries.
Welcome to Madrid, David Beckham.
I was doing Monday to Friday in London and then jumping on a plane to Spain.
But Spanish soccer fans didn't take kindly to Victoria. They called her a villain because she didn't immediately move with David.
Everything I did was fabricated, taken out of context.
At the same time, David experienced a profound sense of loneliness.
And that was difficult to not have my family. Just didn't want to sit at home. Just didn't want to become a footballer's wife. And that's what I loved about her from day one.
It seems like David missed Victoria so much, he ended up seeking comfort in other ladies. Back in 2003, Rebecca Luce and Sarah Marbeck both dropped bombs that they'd been with David. Rebecca was his assistant, who was helping him get settled in a new city, and they got a little too close. She spilled that their fling went on for 4 months and they had a few sleepovers. So why'd she dish this out to the press? Word is, there was some dirt on Rebecca that could mess up her career prospects. But selling the story didn't do her any favors. She ended up being the bad girl for a long time and almost destroyed the Beckhams' marriage. But through all this drama, Victoria played it cool in the public eye. She staunchly denied all of the allegations and gossip.
I think that a few girls wanted to launch a modelling career, so decided to drag David's name into that.
David himself tried to negate it all too. He only said how sorry he was for his wife, who was pregnant with their 3rd child at the time.
See, the worst thing for me was seeing Victoria hurting so much. That hurt me more than anything. You know, and trying to prove my innocence to someone that's hearing it from everyone else that I'm up to something, then trying to prove that is hard.
But in the recent Netflix docuseries, both Beckhams spoke more openly, and David didn't even bother to deny stuff anymore.
It was the first time that me and Victoria had been put under that kind of pressure in our marriage.
Because it felt like the world was against us. And here's the thing, we were against each other, if I'm being completely honest.
But they chose to fight for their marriage and emerged from that battle triumphant. When the Beckhams returned to England, David changed his outlook on life.
The most important thing is my family. The second thing is the soccer.
Finally, Victoria was truly happy.
He's a really, really, really great dad. He's a fantastic husband. He works so hard, and I feel very lucky that we have each other.
Although there was still one more thing that was truly affecting their family. Control freak versus beauty junkie. They've both got their quirks.
Well, you stepped on your flowers.
David Beckham has been managing his obsessive-compulsive disorder for years. He counts his clothes, lines up magazines perfectly, and matches everything in pairs.
I prep my week. Yeah. It used to be just the night before, but
Is that a newish obsession?
yeah, it is actually.
He also wakes up before everyone else to clean every part of his home.
Dude, it's like...
I know. It's pretty clean, because I clean it so well. And I'm not sure it's actually appreciated so much by my wife.
Victoria herself said that life with David isn't a walk in the park. On the day-to-day, it is sometimes hell.
We've got 3 fridges, food in one, salad in another, and drinks in the third. In the drinks one, everything is symmetrical. If there are 3 cans, he'll throw one away because it has to be an even number.
David goes nuts over mess. Even while filming the documentary, the footballer couldn't help but rearrange the chairs behind the crew. He also meticulously wiped up any speck of dust he spotted. Living with someone like that has gotta be intense. But Victoria isn't easy either. She is fastidious about personal care. To maintain her figure, she's consumed the same foods for years.
Since I've met Victoria, she only eats, grilled fish, steamed vegetables. She'll very rarely deviate away from there.
The only time she chowed down on something off the list was when she was expecting their daughter Harper, and David was over the moon about it. Victoria feels a constant need to look impeccable, and she expects the same level of perfection from her family. For instance, even when she was in the hospital after giving birth to their first child, she still fixed David's hair.
Always got to do the hair.
Many might call it madness. Perhaps, yes, but these two have learned to accept and adapt to each other's quirks.
Hey, where are you going? You're going to work?
I'm heading off to the fashion factory, kids.
No, where are you actually going?
Facial.
There you go.
Through all their challenges, they're committed to being truthful with one another. And most importantly, they haven't lost their sense of humor when it comes to each other.
It does say on the box that it's for an 11-year-old.
I've completed this in 9 hours.
But you are 44, you know that.
Yep, and you're 45.
My one beauty question to Victoria would be, do I have this on right? I mean, it doesn't stick to my beard as well as it sticks to Victoria's, but just a question.
Looks like Victoria and David never have a dull moment together. Could this be the essence of true love? Do you think they are a match made in heaven? Share your thoughts in the comments.